Hi, everyone. I don't think I need to introduce myself, but I am Andrew Faber, and I would like to start this conversation by sharing a very important passage with you. This comes from the Bible, uh, and I know not everyone is a Christian, but it's a very important passage to me. I want you to understand that this is something that is extremely important to me. So I'm going to read it to you. It can be found in John chapter 8 and verse 32. And it says, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." The truth is very important to me. It has been for a long time. And if you finish this video and you want to listen to a testimony or a backstory about my life growing up and getting to where I am today, how I ended up in Bulgaria, all that different stuff, I will be happy to make another video and post it somewhere. I don't know. I'm pretty new to this video making thing, but hopefully post it somewhere. But the truth is very important to me. And so I feel like this is long overdue, but I need to be making a video telling you about the truth. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about my motivations and my philosophies and kind of the decisions that I decide to make as a teacher working around children. So I became a teacher initially way back in 2008 because I wanted to change the world. It's not an accident that the name Change the World Schools came into being. I called it that because way back in 2008, I wanted to change the world. That was why I wanted to be a teacher. And I felt like the best way to do that is to be changing the generation because these young minds, they have such an incredible ability to think different from us, and given the right kind of atmosphere, the right kind of opportunities, I believe that they will become world changers the way that my generation and older generations we could never accomplish. Through the initial years of teaching, though, I did discover something about myself that I have the personality of INFJ. And if you don't know personality types or anything, that's okay. But basically, my personality type is protector. And at first, I tried to force my personality into this. I think it's like ESTJ or something like that. It's a personality type that's teacher. And so I tried to force myself into that teacher role because I'm a teacher. But it turns out I'm this INFJ, an introvert, intuitive, a feeler, and a judgmental. We don't have to talk about that now, but basically protector. And I was thinking, no, that's not right, because I'm a teacher. Why do I want to be a protector too? And I realized that I do actually want to protect those who cannot protect themselves, my students. But what am I doing when I'm teaching them? How is that protecting them? And I realized that the way I protect students is with knowledge. When I worked for a short time, I went to Guatemala on a mission trip, and I discovered in my heart, like when we're working through these poor villages, that the best way to stop starvation, to stop all kinds of problems that I saw with these children, especially these orphans, the best way to help them is through knowledge. If you build knowledge, then it gives you opportunities to get better jobs. Better jobs gives you better pay. Better pay gives you better security, better neighborhoods to live in. It's a continuing thing that builds, in the end, protection. And so I realized a little bit later into teaching that I wanted to be a protector for these kids too, not just help in changing the world. In fact, if you have been around me in the last few years, this ring is it's got some Nordic symbols on it, but it stands for protector. It says protector on it, and I got it because I wanted to remind myself and people that know of its significance, that I'm taking this job as a protector teacher very seriously. So my motivation even up till now, is to help the next generation, help them grow, as well as to protect them. And that means that my motivation is to never, ever do something that would otherwise harm a student. That is my initial motivation. That is my philosophy. And so what I'm saying is that everything I do for my school, for my students, both past and present, is done purely with the motivation of helping them grow and helping them to be protected, to be safe. That's everything that I always that always goes on in my mind. Now, some things that I do, because obviously we live in a world where there are people who are good, and then there are people who pretend to be good and who are not. And so there are certain things that I've realized over 20 years of teaching that I kind of have to do to keep myself safe, but then also still be open for those students, because I want to be there for my students to grow not only mentally, but also emotionally. And I can go into more details on why I want to do that, but the basic thing I can say, and you can look this up in the internet, is in loco parentis. It's a law that was passed in the States that says teachers should make decisions when they're with students as if they were a parent or in the place of a parent. So when I understood that, I understood that I need to make sure to provide mental and emotional needs for students. This means that every now and then there are a few students who are going to want affection. They're going to want a hug, a handshake, or a high five, things like that. And I want to be available for that. I'm not going to seek them out myself, but I'm going to be available to receive them. But I have to do certain things to protect myself as well. For example, if I'm in a room by myself with only one other student, then I am going to try and avoid that until other students or other teachers show up. I also try and make sure that doors are open all the time. The third floor, at least where I've been working on at the school that I'm, the school building we're at, has many windows. So I really, really am fond of that, because that means open windows means you can't really hide a whole lot. Anyone can be looking through a window at any time. So I try and make sure that that openness is readily there, so that there's no secret weird things going on. So that's a little bit about what's going on with me, how I'm deciding to do things that I'm doing, and why I'm doing it. I do want only the best for my students. And that's it. I need to apologize too that I did not make a video like this sooner. For 20 years, I always believed that truth is better showcased as an action than it is in words. And to be honest, it has to do with my Christian upbringing. There are many Christians, which maybe you know some of them, who like to speak words of truth but don't act on them. And I grew up in a church similar to that kind of culture. And so in my mind, it was always better to show truth through action and not through words. But as this malicious story started to form, it caught me off guard, quite frankly. It kind of scared me because it's the first time anything's been kind of attacking me in that sense. And so I thought, no, I think I'll just stand on action, and I'll continue doing what I'm doing and hope that people can see the truth. But the problem is that when that malicious story starts to build up, and it starts to get shared with one family and then another, and then they're trading the stories, that kind of is like wildfire. It kind of builds upon itself, and there's not a lot of opportunities for parents to actually be at the building to see what's going on. And all they have to go on is this story that is kind of the only thing that they have to go on. And I don't know why it took me this long to see this revelation, but now I'm beginning to understand that the absence of this conversation, of me coming and saying something, kind of looks like withdrawing into the shadows. So I need to really apologize for that. I am sorry that I did not mention this sooner. I'm also sorry about the situation. I obviously made a mistake in trusting the wrong person, and now anyone listening to this, you're kind of in these two stories. You've got to choose between these two stories, and the thing that also bothers me so much is that your children, no matter which choice you make, they're going to be affected by it somewhat, and that's the last thing I would ever want, is for them to have to be affected by something like this. So I would also like to just let you know that I am open for dialogue. If you want to call, or if you want to come by the school in person, if you want to email, whatever your level of communication is that you would like to have with me, I'm open to talk to you, to answer any questions you have. I have a few former students and their families who know about this situation. And if you want, I can recommend them to talk to you, or you to talk to them, if you would like to hear their stories too, of the years that I've had being a part of their lives, being friends with these parents, being friends with the students after they've left my classroom and grown up. So if you would like to speak to any of them, then I am happy to recommend them as well. These conversations, they're not, it's just you and me. It's just you and me. So, yeah, I just wanted to say all that. And yeah, that's all. I sincerely hope, no matter what, that everything goes well with you and your family. I hold no grudges. If you decide to ignore everything I've said, I don't hold any grudges. So that's it. Okay, I will leave somewhere, I guess. I mean, most of you are going to have a way to contact me, but I'll leave my contact some here on the screen. And if I can figure out how to do it, there'll be like maybe a link here, or maybe in the description of a video about my testimony, about my backstory, so you can find out even more about how I became who I am, how I became a Christian, how I decided to come to Bulgaria, all that kind of stuff, if you're interested in hearing that story too. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great summer.